Hi, everybody. Welcome to The Record Player. Billy Talent is one of Canada's instantly recognizable and most successful bands. They've won multiple Juno Awards, sold millions of albums worldwide, and topped the rock charts here and internationally. They just released their sixth album, Crisis of Faith. There it is right there on January 21st. And I'm happy to be joined today by Billy Talent bassist Jon Gallant. Hi, Jon. How are you? Welcome to TRP.
Oh, hell, thanks for having me. You know, it glows in the dark, that record.
Yeah, well, this isn't your record company hasn't sent me a real.
Oh, okay.
This is my commitment to the craft right there.
Nice.
The album, by the way, Crisis of Faith, is fantastic. It's doing great so far out there. Obviously, it must have been challenging to write and plan and record a record during a pandemic. What was that process like?
Well, it was a huge challenge, and it's fun. We came off the road, and after years and years of touring, we granted ourselves our first kind of year off, and everybody kind of just did their own thing. Ian really got cracking on writing, but did it all on his own time, and then the pandemic hit, so we didn't anticipate being off for another 2 years. So and with that, we were going to come up with a different strategy where we were going to record songs in chunks instead of just going into the studio and doing the whole album at once. And as COVID messed up pretty much the entire world and everybody's plans, it kind of threw a monkey wrench into that plan, and everything got a little bit disjointed, but we worked our way through it. And I think having the extra time was beneficial for us in the end, in terms of the final result of the record, where we didn't have to, there was absolutely no rushing. We just now, it came to a point where we just had all the time in the world. So we really got to sit down and overthink the songs probably. And that's just the way it went down. And we couldn't record the album in a traditional sense where we would all go into the studio and work together. So, you know, Ian, our producer, songwriter, genius, we worked with him kind of almost individually to do our parts. And it was a different process and memorable. I don't want to do it that way ever again. But
there we go.
Good. Yeah. And yeah, so yeah, that's how it all went down.
Yeah, you guys had, I mean, it was a year. It was you put out the single, and then over a year later, the record comes out. I love that you guys never stray far from the sound that the fans love. I mean, obviously it's a Billy Talent sound. On every record, you seem to progress a little bit more and develop a little bit more. On this record, I almost felt like there was more development. It was a little bit more of an, you know, not necessarily an outreach away from Billy Talent, but it seemed as if you were trying more things. Was that conscious, or was that kind of just growing and maturing as artists?
I guess a little bit of both, you know. I think we all feel like we're going to deliver a certain type of sound, like you say, no matter what. And then it's just about having fun, being creative and trying different things, and adding orchestration, for example, or synthesizer, or anything. We just felt like we've earned the right to do what we want with our art, and Ian is a bottomless pit of creativity when it comes to music. And so I think him embracing that, and us saying, yeah, do whatever you want to do, like just like extend yourself, it's awesome, and encouraging him, and then him challenging us to be better and play better and think outside the box as well. So we love making music, and I think we've always taken that part pretty seriously. So it's nice to hear that you recognize the growth and the maturity as well.
When I first heard Forgiveness, I got to like the 4-minute mark, and I stopped and I was like, what the fuck is I couldn't believe that it had completely, you know, gone in that direction. It's obviously Forgiveness 1 and part 1 and part 2. Saxophone solo, for Christ's sakes. What was what was going on there?
Well, great. And I love the effect that it had on people. And you know, we're music lovers, and we've never been a band that kind of fit into one particular box. And you know, that part reminds me of Pink Floyd, and like Dark Side of the Moon is one of our like a couple of the members' favorite records. And so it doesn't surprise me that that came out of us. I remember Ian saying, I was kind of thinking that this would be a saxophone solo. He wrote it on the guitar, and when we jam it, he plays it on the guitar. And you know, I think when we sit down collectively, we just, you got to kind of go with your gut, and it sounded awesome.
It's funny you mentioned Pink Floyd, because that was one of the first things I thought of was Pink Floyd, and then I thought, am I listening to a Queensryche CD? Did I miss the? Did I skip the
That's
button?
awesome.
You guys have toured with so many great artists over the years since you guys started. Rise Against, Rancid, of course, Alexis on Fire, one of my favorite bands. But you've never really brought outside musicians into the studio or into the records until this one with the new single "End of Me" with Weezer's Rivers Cuomo. How did that collaboration happen? How did that come about?
Well, we had finished that song. It was one of the first songs we finished, and it was all done. We have a Billy Talent version of it, and the pandemic afforded us time to overthink things, like I was mentioning earlier. And Ben and Ian, I think this is the version of events where they were working on some lyrics, and they happened to be reviewing that song, maybe a mix or something. And we had a working title for that song before the lyrics were written, Hendrix Weezer. That's what it was called. And Ben suggested, why don't we just send this to Weezer and see if Rivers will sing a verse? And we did, and we didn't really hear much. And a couple months later, there was a email in our inbox with his vocals, so it was pretty rad.
That's cool. Is there any song on the album that kind of speaks to you that you feel most strongly about, that you can't wait to kind of get out there and jam out?
I'm looking forward to playing Hanging Out with All the Wrong People live. It's just a really fun song. I'm at rehearsal today. We're going to be running through the whole record, so it's fun. It's really fun and gratifying to work through the songs in a whole that way. I'm looking forward to just playing, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Well, we can hang out if you want to just leave the tape playing. We can. My two oldest kids are huge Billy Talent fans. My son Taylor used to literally sit at his computer, and I would hear from the other room. I would just hear "Rusted from the Rain" over and over and over, to the point where I was like, "Dude, like fast forward, put on the next song."
I understand.
If I was to play a song for anybody who wasn't a Billy Talent fan or hadn't really heard the band yet, I would choose that song. I would choose Viking Death March, Devil on My Shoulder, because those are Billy Talent songs to me. Is there anything, what song would you play for somebody that, isn't necessarily a fan of the band? What would you say, this is us?
Yeah, Viking would be a good one, now that you mention it. It's kind of hard for me to do that, because I feel like there's a lot to our band, and it would be hard to pigeonhole us into one just singular song. Maybe This Suffering is also a pretty good representative of a lot of what we do. It's Ghost Ship of Cannibal Rats would be another one of those types of I think that particular type of song is our sound that's unique to us. Or River Below, there's things that Ian does on the guitar that nobody else does in a handful of our songs. Actually more than 90% of our catalog, in my opinion. But I don't know. That's a tough question.
I mentioned earlier about some of the bands that you've toured with and played with. You played with Guns N' Roses at the Rogers Center. 4 dudes from Mississauga playing at the Rogers Center, 500,000 seat arena. What was that night like? I mean, what was that, doing that in your hometown? What was that show like for you guys?
That was a dream come true, to be honest, and unanticipated. I'd never imagined we played there. We probably almost hit every venue in Toronto, but that one just never really seemed realistic. Wouldn't consider it a venue. Yeah, we got that call, and to open for Guns N' Roses, especially the original lineup, aside from Matt Sorum, it was just amazing. Yeah, I can't describe it really. And then we got to watch from the visitors' dugout their show. Steve Adler, sorry, Matt Sorum was the second drummer. Thank you, Ben. It was unbelievable. One of the best moments of my career.
Did you guys get to meet them? Did you get to hang out with them at all?
Didn't get to meet them, and that's fine. Didn't expect to. Got to watch them. Their crew treated us with like the utmost respect. It was just a magical night.
It would have been more fun to meet them back in 1990. I'm thinking. My guess is that Slash and Axl are sitting down knitting and doing puzzles now. So probably you didn't miss much.
More days back then.
I've seen you guys live quite a few times. Great live band. Obviously, that's your element, is being on stage and having fun and performing. How much have you missed that? Just getting out there and doing it.
Yeah, I can't tell you how much I miss it. I can't wait to get back out. It feels like something's missing, you know. It's been we're racehorses trapped in a barn. So let's go.
You mentioned that you're rehearsing now. Any plans yet to head out? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, Canadian tour at the beginning of April.
Good.
And then it's just continuous touring from there. We've got lots of Europe, lots of Canadian festivals in the summer probably, and we'll just keep it going.
That's awesome. I want to thank you so much for being with us on the Record Player. It's been great talking to you. My son will be ecstatic when he sees this. I wish you the best. Crisis of Faith is out now. Been out since January, and it is doing amazing. End of Me is the new single. Thank you so much, Jon, for being with us on TRP.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the support.
Good luck. Take care.
Take care.